Hi, this is Karina with Infinite Life Mastery, and welcome to our very first video in the series on 3 success principles of divorce decision making process. Oh goodness, that's a mouthful. Well, it's as much of a mouthful as it is actually a heartful. And I know that being in that space of the decision making, it is probably one of the heart-wrenching, isolating, and really just emotionally devastating places that I think anybody could find themselves in. And it's that breaking of your hopes, breaking of your dreams for the future, and breaking up of a family, and especially if you're a mom, that I think that really speaks into just feeling like you're going against the nature instincts of a mother trying to keep things together, trying to keep the family together. And so when you're in a space of thinking, actually breaking the family unit, it literally goes against the nature. That's the feeling. And I think that's where a lot of support in validation or support with helping to make the decision that you feel good about at the end of the day, I think that is so essential. So I'm very glad that you're here and that you're listening and you're keeping an open mind. So let's proceed. So our very first success principle, which I believe if you don't hear anything else, you don't listen to the other 2 videos, which I'm going to say there are also essential elements of the success, but if you don't have the brain space and the emotional space to do the other ones, this is the one that is just so essential that without it, I don't know how anybody ever gets through divorce. A lot of people who have gone through divorce decision process, and that is those who have gone through divorce and also those who have decided to work on their marriages, especially those who have decided to work on their marriages, have really worked on this element a lot. And let me keep the suspense to a minimum here. This element is mindset. Without proper mindset, whether you choose divorce or whether you choose reconciliation, none of it is going to work the way that you want it to work. And let me explain you why. So if you are in the limbo space and you are not sure whether or not to file for divorce or whether you want to continue to work on the marriage, your mindset is working in a reactive way. It's literally reliving all of the bad times and all of the bad elements of the points and the life culminated spaces that had led you to this decision-making time anyway. So what you're doing is you're literally placing yourself back into the problem, back into the place of the problems, and you're trying to make a decision that is supposed to be a solution. And that will never give you the results that you actually want. Working on your mindset means that you are able to step out of that and allow yourself to step into the space of a solution. And what I mean by that is, instead of rehashing of all of the stuff, all of the arguments and the he said, she said, all of these things, instead of just keep on rehashing it without the constructive way or a real purpose, except for somehow trying to validate the feelings that you're having, to step out of that and be an observer and take those elements, take that information to be your puzzle pieces in a way. So that when you have the mindset that is non-reactionary, when you have the mindset of constructive problem solving, that you take each element separately and you put them all together into this picture. So you can truly see the entire picture, and you can see where you fit within that picture. You can see where your own discontents and where your own longings fit in with that, and then also assess what is truly going on. You could be in a space where you really have reached that limit and you just done accepting the unacceptable. And when you're in that space, then you could say, okay, what specifically of this is unacceptable? And then checking in and seeing, well, has this been unacceptable really for a long time? And I just finally got to a place where I said, okay, enough is enough. Or am I in this place where, okay, you know what, I'm recognizing that I'm playing a big role in this situation, and what I need to do is really to understand who am I being and what am I doing, what am I saying in the moments like this that really escalate the whole situation. So what I'm saying here is that mindset is really the beginning where we start to make any changes within our lives. It is the first place where we begin making changes to the way we show up and the way we understand our role in the process. And having the mindset that has been, in a way, reprogrammed out of that reactionary place into more responsive place where you are making decisions from the place of love, from the place of expansion, as opposed to this constricted space of frustration and fear. Because really, any decision that has never been made from the place of fear and frustration, it has never led to good outcomes. And I have quite a few decades of testing out that system, and it has never worked. So if you're in a space of fear or frustration and then you make a decision from that, you just know you're making a decision for basically it's a choice that's going to lead you into a place you're not going to enjoy at the end, even if it looks good right now. So as you consider this this element, I'm going to invite you to really open up to this learning, and to really understand where your mindset is right now in this process. Are you in that reactionary space? Do you think thoroughly before you respond to something? Or if there's an argument brewing, are you able to easily walk away or redirect? Do you notice that your kids are reacting to you more than usual? Are the kids also having this reactionary and like super misbehaving, I guess, behavior? Are you in that place where you find yourself that everything is like this weird pendulum thing? You keep on going, or I like to call it ping pong. It's like somebody just keeps on throwing things, and you just that's what you do all day, either with your spouse or with your kids, and then at the end of the day, you're just like you're done. So check in. Are you emotionally exhausted at the end of the day? And what really is exhausting you? And as you begin to really understand your mindset, I think that is what really is going to open you up to a true understanding and awareness of what you can do with this decision. And it's, if that also includes the mindset piece here, also includes in looking at this decision place where you're at, as regardless where you're at, as a blessing, as something that you can really take on as an opportunity to create something better. I mean, as humans, we're always growing. If we're not growing and evolving, then we are stagnating, but really, it could feel like our soul is dying. And sometimes relationships have that effect on us, and it really is important to understand what relationship you're in. Are you in that kind of a relationship that literally is killing your soul? Or are you in a relationship that you feel like your soul is dying? And then what can you do in that time, in that space? So looking at the entire situation with a different lens requires a different mindset, and not the same kind that got you into the space of even be considering a divorce and being in that emotional turmoil of divorce material, I guess. So I'm going to invite you to look deeper at your mindset and where it is, and then decide what you want to do with this. Do you want to begin working on it and shifting it so you can begin shifting the circumstances around you? Because ultimately, when you start shifting your mindset, the circumstances around you shift. It's a proven fact. And however, whatever the explanation is for it, which I'm not going to go into, I will do another video on that some other time. But there is this way that when we start seeing things from a different perspective, we start seeing so much more to it, and we start seeing the opportunities that can help us to really validate what we're seeing. So if all we're seeing and we're telling ourselves is bad, then that's what we're going to see. But if we see the situation that we're in as an opportunity, then we begin seeing the space, where we begin seeing the opportunities within this opportunity. So before this video gets any longer and I lose your attention, I want you to take a deep breath and really see that you have this beautiful space to create something even better. And sometimes in our lives, it requires us to feel quite an immense pain about something in order for us to really make the change. And until we do that, we're not really pushed or pulled into making that change. So perhaps this space that you're in is that time has come for you to make a change that really expands you into a bigger and better life. Because when you don't feel life, that I think is probably one of the saddest things and really moments that we need to embrace as we go through this process. So, first element of success, whether you decide to file for divorce or you decide to save your marriage, number one is mindset. Where are you in your mindset? Are you in the solutions land, or are you really in the problems land? And in my next video, I'm going to talk about the second element of successful process, of this space where without these elements, we can't really think about creating successful outcomes for us and for our kids in this process. So I'm going to invite you to tune in again for the second video so you can get the most that you can, so that you feel fully prepared to really be on this beautiful journey of making the decision in the most peaceful way that you know is going to give you the best results that you possibly can get out of this very emotionally, physically, mentally, financially difficult process. So I will see you in my next video. And until then, deep breath and you are on this beautiful journey for a reason.